attention to this work of art by Da Vinci. It's not a very well known painting by him, but I'd like to draw your attention to the contrast which he uses so effectively. Look at this, the cut of this line, this white against the black background, reminiscent of Caravaggio's use of dark colours, but of course it has the luminosity which is all of which Van Gogh, which the painter makes his own, Da Vinci, and this is seen in the hand as well, and the cut against the cut of the white outside against the black background. I would also like to draw your attention to the muscular aspect of the ferret, which of course is in contrast with the smoothness of and the softness of the skin of the woman. We have the typical Mona Lisa-like divots at the corner of the mouth, and which is quite characteristic of Da Vinci. So did I say Van Gogh? Over Da Vinci. So this is really rather, and the fingernails are pretty much the same colour as the skin, which sort of gives the idea in a way of a sort of it's a bit like it's a sort of, I think there are similarities between this woman and a corpse, in a way, not to put it bluntly, and of course that's brought out by the liveliness of the stoat or ferret or weasel, whatever it is, or ermine. I think it's an ermine. Ermine. And I think that those fingernails are quite corpse-like, if I'm not mistaken. I've only seen 2 corpses in my life, and that rings a bell. So, yeah, and of course we have the. We need to take into account the clothes that she's wearing, with the royal, the royal blue, and these sort of this almost royal the royal colours which she's wearing, and down here, so that this openness is obviously speaks of a certain perhaps promiscuity, or a certain a certain openness of the lady. The sort of underwear this looks like, perhaps that's speaks of sort of a playfulness. Perhaps there's an innuendo there. It's a bit like a Joker's pantaloons, are they called pantaloons? And yeah, I mean there's just great contrast between I mean, just look at that hand, how it's holding the animal and touching. It's really realistic, I think. The muscularity of the animal is not, I think, very realistic. It doesn't. It's not sort of that realistic to the modern mind, but I think we need to take into account that in those days people wouldn't really have known what an animal like that really looked like. I mean, you'd only have a pet like an ermine, obviously, in probably a royal household, so, which speaks to her royalty, basically. So most people wouldn't know whether or not an ermine, or whatever that animal is, was muscular or not like that. But of course, what Da Vinci has brought out is the contrast between the muscularity and the bestial nature of the animal, and the sort of perfection, the suppleness, the not the innocence. I mean, that doesn't speak to me of innocence, really, that woman, especially with this open cut. It's obvious that Da Vinci is trying to say something there. And the divots at the end, like the Mona Lisa, so there's a certain perhaps promiscuity is suggested there. The eyes, looking askance, perhaps looking for her next lover in the crowd, and doesn't speak of innocence to me, this woman. Okay, so it's a lovely painting. I think that it's a real masterpiece of art. Not sure when it was painted, but yeah, okay. There's a skeletal aspect of this hand as well. Again, there's that corpse-like identity with that. It's like a skeleton hand, really. And isn't this called with these beads? I think there's a link to death with the beads. I think that's I can't remember what it is now, but I think that there's it looks even like a scar, this one here. So there's certain elements of death which are evoked by the woman and life by the animal. Contrast between the two, and contrast between dark and light. Okay, dark and light, and I think that that's well brought out. I think they're the main things. But when you look closer, you see the open cloth speaks of sexual promiscuity, and the eyes, the little corners of the mouth slightly turned up, so a little bit of playfulness, but not an innocent playfulness, I would suggest. Okay, so hopefully that has been interesting. And that last piece I tried to play is of course Schubert's Klavierstück number 1 in E minor, and it's a wonderful, wonderful piece. And I think the two works of art sort of go together in a way. They're both very, very powerful. Thank you, and I'll see you later.